Norm, when you look, I know Norm Langer here is a big basketball fan too, knows the game inside and out. But when you look at the roster of the San Antonio Spurs, Norm Langer, and all the complementary players that they put around their big three, and they've done a much better job than my boy Pat Riley did in Miami, and he's right about that. Why didn't they sign Marco Bellinelli? They could have had Patty Mills, those type of players.
Well, Michael, to be honest, I really don't know enough about it. And
yes, you do.
I do, but I honestly have to defer to you.
Let's ask Norm something he knows about. Do you think that if someone has a pastrami sandwich at Langer's Deli and then goes running within the next half hour, they will get a cramp?
It depends on the outside temperature.
Okay.
If we're over 90 degrees like they are in some of the arenas, we've got a problem.
See, now that's good, an expertise answer right there.
By
the way, what Norm does know about is business.
Yeah.
And you are doing some good business right now with this police chief, New York, L.A. thingamabob that's going on in the Stanley Cup final. Because in my personal opinion, there's no way in heck you lose.
I've got to win either way. Bill Bratton is a friend. He's been a customer of mine for years, and I look forward to him coming back in again.
Okay, so explain to everybody what's going on here between the Kings and the Rangers and Langer's Deli and Norm and pastrami and all of that stuff.
Well, Charlie Beck felt that there's no way in the world the Kings are going to lose.
True.
And as there's been, shall we say, wagers going on of food and singing and so on between the mayors, Charlie Beck felt that as long as he's going to win, why shouldn't Bill Bratton buy him lunch? And Bratton is going to buy lunch for Charlie Beck at Katz's in New York. And if by some outside chance the Rangers should win, it'll be a reverse situation, and Bill Bratton will have to buy lunch for Charlie at Langer's. And I can't see any way in the world
that's not happening.
That Charlie Beck is going to lose. Charlie's been a winner since I know him. He's done everything right for the city, and here he's going to do something right for the Kings.
So Bratton will have to fly all the way to L.A. just to have lunch at Langer's?
Anything is possible.
Are you saying that's not worth the trip?
Well, I mean, of course it is.
What's the matter with you, Michael?
Just for me, it's I'd rather have Langer's sent to me.
Well,
do that?
To you, Michael,
I'm talking about to New York.
If you were in New York, I would bring it to you personally.
I remember that.
But in this case, as much as I hate to say it, because I don't really want to put it on air, but Bill Bratton's going to wind up with a box anyway.
All right.
Well, and that's what I mean. See, this is smart business.
Yeah.
We get the Langer's name out there, and there's no way in heck this thing's going down at Langer's Deli because this thing is, I told you yesterday, this thing's over. Yeah. This thing is over. The Rangers have no shot. They got no shot in this series.
What does Charlie Beck order from Langer's to go along with this pastrami? What are the condiments?
Charlie Beck normally has... Well, I don't want to say he has Mychal Thompson on toast. That's another story.
Right.
But what he normally has is a half a number 10 on rye toast, pastrami, Swiss cheese, coleslaw, and sometimes French fries. Now, the misquote that's been in the paper about Bill Bratton is Bill Bratton doesn't eat pastrami. He eats corned beef.
Okay.
And he eats it on a Kaiser roll. And he is a lover of potato chips.
Oh, yeah. Who isn't?
So for Bill Bratton, we have to have a corned beef on a Kaiser roll, potato chips, and a Diet Coke.
Okay, that's fair. Have it your way. I get all that. But Norm, before you go, here's what I really need to know. I know you listen every day. I know you hear me trying to say Langer's Deli, home of what is the world famous, and you don't get that nickname just by accident, the world famous number 19 pastrami on rye with Russian dressing. And you hear this partner of mine, my good friend over here, Mychal Thompson, former Laker great, 2 rings on his fingers. You hear him sneak in right in the middle of my read. Wheat.
Oh, yeah.
Wheat. I would like to know, honestly, how offensive is that to you?
Well, Mark, I don't know if you remember back a few years ago when Mychal Thompson, our dear friend, rebuilt one of my number 19s.
Yeah.
He reached down in his satchel and pulled out a loaf of whole wheat bread and took my 19 and tore it apart. And I was
deconstructed it right in front of your eyes.
Well, I was forced to come in a few days later with a whole loaf of whole wheat split down the middle.
He did.
With 2.5 pounds of pastrami on it.
Greatest sandwich I ever had.
Coleslaw, Swiss cheese, and Russian dressing. And explained to Mychal that he alone demeaned my father's reputation and what my father had taken all of these years to build.
Right.
Mychal, in one foul swoop, within 90 seconds, took all of that history.
I enhanced it.
Well, you did tell me that the brothers don't eat rye bread, but you know, I was under the impression since then, Michael, you got your teeth fixed.
I like hearing Norm say the brothers even more than you, Michael.
Exactly.
That sounds really good.
And I wanted you to rename that sandwich the number 43 after me.
I have a 43, but it's a fish plate, Michael.
That's right.
Now, you know, we can let you
You're pretty
partake.
fishy.
Oh, I like fish too.
Now, Mark, what do you think about lox and cream cheese on whole wheat bread?
Yeah.
Would Michael eat that?
Yes.
For the love of potatoes.
I'll eat anything you make on losses on whole wheat.
Oh, gosh.
I'm telling you, man, the brothers like the wheat. Wheat is what we eat.
Yeah.
That's our motto.
Just because you can always make something into a rhyme doesn't mean it tastes good.
That's
Norm,
a Thompson specialty.
Norm, great work, but you're going to have no chance of this meal happening at your place. Kings in 5 if it gets that long.
I was thinking Kings in 4.
Yeah, Kings in 4.5.
Oh, yeah. Nobody can beat the Kings. They're just on a roll.
Michael, I'll tell you what.
What?
Please consider rye bread once.
I tried it.
One time.
I'll tell you, I'll leave you with this thought.
It's hockey season, the one-timer.
If there's a problem and your teeth hurt, I will give you a version that is pre-chewed.
Okay. I'll take it. As long as you're the one who chews it up, because you know how to do it right.
Good to see you, Norm.
Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Great to see you.
Good to see you, Norm. Next time, don't come empty-handed, will you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, wow, what's that about?
Yeah.
You know why? It's because of you and your ridiculous wheat bread notion that you throw around every day. He's offended by this show, and I understand that.
I would take a few bites of the rye and then take the rest home and put the rest on wheat.
There's no food here today, and it's your fault. No food.